Check, check. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. 1, 2. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing some stuff with Ableton stock effects and instruments. So I'm on 11 Suite. So I may use some things that you don't have. I'll try to use some basic ones though. So here I'm using one of my favorite Ableton instruments, the drum rack, complete with its own macros, and these are just some simple drums. So I think I might just make some, like a drum loop, and I think so I just went into packs. Ableton comes with sounds, and some of them are quite good. Like, that's a pretty nice hat right there. I got that out of the probability pack. And I've been enjoying the Ableton MIDI effects a lot. I like to group them up. Ableton groups is pretty much my favorite thing. And we'll do just a sync to rate, macro that speed. And then we can do like a quarter note hat with just one note. I'm going to click that and then just legato. And then the velocity is a really cool plugin here. You can put this in with the arpeggiator, and we can increase this randomize. I just right clicked at the top of the simpler and turned it to a sampler, because with the sampler you have a bit more control over the changes you can make. So I'm going to go like an envelope. The sampler has this cool time function similar to operator, where you can do time to key, or you can just percentage of the time. And then time to velocity is what I'm looking for. And I'll do some time to velocity with some random velocity. And then I don't know if you noticed, but Ableton came with some cool things. This bouncing, I think there's a bouncing ball thing. What was it called? I might not have installed it yet on this new computer. This polyrhythmus is kind of interesting though too. So the cool thing about MIDI effects is it's a chain like any other signal chain, so you can get multiple things going on, like especially in parallel, you know. So I could open up this and then drag this group into here, and this is my sampler. And then we can open up these chains, and these chains allow us to choose between different states of a MIDI progression. So I could do this like MIDI, the MIDI switch. And up here we could have, now we can just try this polyrhythmus thing. I don't know even what this is, but I think it generates gates. Now I may take a auto pan and just get that to be less consistent. So what I did there was I just kind of created a consistent rhythm and then kind of broke it up into smaller chunks to create some kind of cool glitchy decay tails on them. And now I'll just sample group 5. So just getting a little bit of playtime in on the EQ, on the echo there. Now I can just mute this, and we can extend this out. If we go in here and open it up like this, now we have a bit to choose from. So I'll go back into this Ableton drum rack, and we'll kind of build a little drum rack. So Ableton comes with a snare that's actually pretty good. Where is it? Drum Synth DS snare. That's what it sounds like. So I might get the some of these Ableton distortions out to try to spice up this snare a bit. I'm gonna just put a little groups in parallel. And then I can just macro. And kind of control the gain of each of these. I believe there's a tom. Yes, DS tom, put that in there. So we could group those and then put this chain on both of them. That's a little better. So I love for snares putting corpus on something like this. So corpus is an audio effect. And I'll maybe just put it before this distortion here and turn it down. Kind of gives you another tone, and I could even put another one after it, blend it in. That's something where I could put it in parallel, put it fully wet, and then gate it. Get a little glitch tail. So something I like to do with snares is just render them. So I'm going to sample group 4. And I like to get this in pretty early on. It's just a little bit of a reverse. So I could take this and just reverse it here. So the next synth I want to show, the Ableton Synth wavetable, because I feel like people sleep on this thing, because there's so many other wavetable synths out there like Faceplant, but it's pretty cool how they did it. So I'm just going to turn on this filter to MS-20 and drive it. So we could do a monophonic by just going to this button. You can just select this and hit the Z button, and it'll zoom me in. And basically the way you map things here is pretty intuitive. It's just about this little matrix. So you can wiggle a parameter and it'll pop up down here, and then you can route it to things like the envelope, the LFO. So then you can start to fold your oscillator right down here at the bottom here, which is really cool. So that's something I might macro, because I find macros to be the easiest way to automate in Ableton. It's always this nice small window. So I really like just turning off the grid with Control 4 and then just drawing stuff. that's fun. And then you can also do wrap, which is a different type of kind of wave folding right there on the oscillator, which is just so cool. And then I think the next thing I'll get is the OTT. Now this is just a modified version of the OTT preset. I just turned off the low band so it doesn't mess with the lows, and then it's kind of slightly relaxed OTT. So what I'm going to do here is create a filtering system with the EQ. The EQ8 is wonderful for this. That'll be our low pass. That'll be our high pass. And then we should have at least one bell and one reverse bell or notch. And I'm just doing the frequency to all these at first. So now we have this kind of thing. Maybe boost the resonance slightly of these. So it gives it a bit of a push into this saturator. And then with these four knobs, we can just select one, hit add, the next one, add it, next one, add it, next one, add it. We can close our browser, and then this is kind of our automation for this EQ. So the grid is still off. So first I'll probably do this bell right here. Let's try it up high first. And then with the number 6, which would be our notch, or reverse bell, could maybe try that one lower. And this could actually all just be part of a chain for the upper frequencies. So we'll put a dry chain here, and then this upper. That way we can do some more weird stereo stuff to it and not lose the core of the sound. So I'll just get another EQ. We could try EQ3. And that at the end of the chain, just mute this low channel. Cut off at like 250. So I let the sub get back into this group after this first frequency split. So I'm just going to group it all. And then make a new chain. Oops. I think I might just bounce that and see what it looks like. Channel 13, sample it. Okay, that's That's stock Ableton. I don't think I used anything not stock. Yeah, wavetable. Just a simple sine wave. I'm telling you what. So now what we could do is change that phrase by playing with the initial synth. So oscillator 2, we could turn that on now. And maybe do something more complex. Pitch it up. So there's we can do FM. So we can maybe do change envelope to an LFO. Matrix LFO to FM amount. So we could maybe automate the rate of the LFO. So now we could have some other stuff. So we have a couple basses. Put those in the bass group. I'm gonna get out the hybrid reverb, just small dark room, I guess. So it could be cool to have the juxtaposition of the super reverbed one. So I'm just gonna get an EQ3 out here and turn the high and mid off. And then with this one, I'll put an EQ3 after it and just turn the lows off. And then blend in the dry wet. So maybe at the end here it gets more wet. Something like that. I think it'd be cool to like be dry and then wet here. Like this. Oh, that's kind of cool. So with this one, maybe a flanger. This phaser flanger device is cool. Let's try flange. So I think if we open up this window, we can change the LFO shape to like random sample and hold. Turn the amount down. There we go. So we can like on and off that one. This is cool. It has this stereo. You can do phase offset, and look, it inverts the phase. Warmth sounds like a bit of tape saturation. So maybe an amp. Love Ableton amp. Great effect. bit of glue saturation. And then I think we need a place where this melody comes in higher up, so maybe right here. We could do another wavetable. Digging wavetable right now. Yeah. Do like a kind of a plucky arp, I'm thinking. Pitch these notes up a bunch. So grain delay. Get a little bit of octavization. Pitch the pitch up to 12. And then we can just hit legato, and then maybe drag these out a bit to overlap, and get our arpeggiator out. Arpeggiator, get that in a rack, and put it on sync, and just, or maybe not put it on sync, and macro. So we can do octaves minus 12. Then we're going plus 12 on the grain delay. Yeah. Then just do a little bit of folding. Just a little random step sequence maybe. See, if you're a human, you have a random generator. You can just kind of generate randomness wherever you want. Maybe tone this down a bit. And then this speed up more. Maybe do a little filter envelope on this. So a couple things are needed to get this under control. First, take a little saturation, group this delay. You could just get an EQ3, turn the lows off, and another chain for the dry, and then put the grain delay fully wet. Then we can turn that down. So we can turn that down. And maybe turn the highs off. So we could automate this frequency right here on the EQ to open up and then close. And maybe on this one we could have another EQ3 and just turn the high off and modulate this cut off. Maybe put a little bit of this here. I think this sound, it's like overly distorted. I'm just gonna group all that and then turn it down and put it dry. Hear how I can shave off the front of that more distorted sound that comes in after the bass sound with this gate, just using the attack. It's kind of a nice effect. So something that's good to do with this kind of sound is to just, and I know I've broken a lot of EQ laws in this, but this is experimental stuff, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to high pass it once again, and I'm just going to build a sub. I really like Operator for this, just because it's so clean. It's like the cleanest sine wave. So I'm going to go for the sine. But then what I like to do is go in here and give it a little bit of third and a little bit of fifth harmonic. But the cool thing about working in Ableton is you usually have the MIDI. So I'll just take that MIDI and put it there. But it's an octave too low. So select with Control A and then up arrow and shift. Legato, but then I'm going to back them off a little bit. And for this I'm just going to do a simple volume envelope. And we're on one voice but no retrigger. And then I can kind of just tune this to the bass. And I'm going to actually copy this EQ to this other top. These will both be tops. I don't know about this. So this distortion on the group just really glued that new sine wave sub with the operator. It really glued it in with the rest of the stuff by clipping. So I used the clipper on echo. You just turn all these functions off. Time down to 1 millisecond. And then you put the D on and drive the input and attenuate the output. It's like a nice kind of tape saturation sound. To make these sounds sound better, I'd probably have to EQ them individually better. there was just checking the bass group mix in mono. Make sure we have sub. It sounds kind of nice to switch between the two, actually. I guess we really don't have that much stereo stuff going on here, other than reverb. I'm going to do a delay offset here on this one. Just get a delay, offset the right from the left.